It is a real treat for us today to talk with Dillon Passage. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing good. Been out in the sun all day.
I was going to ask, how are you getting through this mess that we're? How do you occupy your time with what's going on?
Yeah, most of the time I'm by myself, but I have a few people that I can hang out with that keep me kind of sane.
Good to hear. I want to go back to the beginning. When people were walking around with cameras, filming you guys, all this was going on. Did you have any idea how big this would become?
No, but at first I didn't even know exactly what they were filming for. You know what I mean? Joe was kind of like, "Oh, just ignore the cameras. They're just kind of there." I was like, "Okay, cool." And then they kept showing up, and then they kept showing up. I was like, "Okay, well, this is kind of overwhelming." And then I found out exactly what they were doing, and I had a little bit better of I had a little bit better of an understanding of like what was happening.
When did you realize how big this show? I mean, the entire world is watching this. When did you realize how big this show is?
Well, initially nobody knew how big it was going to be, and nobody thought it was going to be this big, not even the producers. So, when it hit number one, that's kind of when it like became a big deal. And then I was getting like all these people like following me on Instagram and like reaching out and kind of being nosy. And I was like, okay, well, I guess this is happening right now. So took a little bit to get used to. Still getting used to it, actually.
When did you realize that you're famous? People, I got to tell you right now, Dillon, you are, because we normally interview, celebrities like Bradley Cooper, that we cover entertainment, for Fox 26 here in Houston. And when we told our producers we were interviewing you, they got more excited about you than people like Bradley Cooper. You're famous, man.
That's so weird to hear. Just because I don't think I'm famous. I think I'm trending. That's what I keep telling people. They're like, "Oh, you're famous." I'm like, "I'm not. No, this is gonna pass." So I don't really care for the limelight. That's not why I'm with Joe or any of this. Like it was never supposed to be like this. I was supposed to stay at the house and take care of my baby animals. That was it. And it's just a completely different life, and it's kind of overwhelming. But I have a really good team beside me, and they're really helping me stay organized and getting things done, and possibly big things coming in the future. But we'll see.
That's what I hear. So when you first met Joe, what were your first thoughts? Like, this guy, he's something else.
The first time I saw Joe, I was like, "What in the mullet is going on here?" But no, he was just like a super eccentric dude, super like charismatic and very outspoken, and that's something that really drew me to him.
How is he doing?
It's hard to say he's doing good in jail, because that's a shitty place to be. But he's holding up. He's trying to stay positive, and we're really focusing mostly on the appeal right now and hoping for the best for that.
Do you get to talk with him, or have you talked to him?
Yeah, so like when he was in his facility in Oklahoma, we talked like 3 to 5 times a day, every single day. We emailed, kind of FaceTimed on this little app called HomeWave. And now since he's been moved to Fort Worth, he doesn't really get all the same phone privileges because of the coronavirus. So I've only been able to speak to him 2 times in the past 3 weeks.
What do you think you tell his fans? Because there are a lot of fans out there, both of you and of Joe. What would he say now about what's going on? What would he tell his fans?
This is actually like a message from Joe. He wanted me to tell everybody that he's getting the letters that they send, and he reads every single one of them, and he appreciates each and every one so much, but he can't respond to all of them just because hundreds and hundreds are coming in, and he doesn't have enough stamps to mail it out. He's like limited on what he has in there, but he appreciates everything and loves the support and attention he's getting from it.
Have you talked to anybody else from the show?
So no, I don't really talk to anybody except for Doc Antle. And he's a super down to earth, genuine guy. He's just as outspoken as Joe, but he just chooses his words a lot better. And he actually thinks about what he says before he says it, but he still gets his point across. But no, he's a super good guy. We send memes back and forth, and he's always calling and texting me to check up on Joe and see how he's doing, see how I'm doing.
Have you watched the entire series?
Oh yeah, I binge watched it all in like a 7-8 hour period.
And your thoughts? Let's talk about the series as a whole, and then I'm going to get into your portrayal. But what did you think of the series? How they did it?
So you know, the producers Eric and Rebecca were actually pretty close. You know, they're really good people, and their main goal was to tell a true story and what they thought and believed in. And I think they did just that. They really got everybody for how they saw them. So I mean, they weren't lying in their own point of view, but I feel like they could have shown different sides of people. I know that they did have an agenda on the point they were trying to get across. But there's definitely two sides to every story.
How do you think they portrayed you?
I mean, they didn't use like quite a few of the interviews that we did. I mean, I don't even know. I mean, it was just that. It was just me in the series. I mean, they didn't make me look like anything other than what I am. I mean, I was barely in it. That's the thing. Like I was just in like a few clips here and there. So there wasn't much to tell or get to know about me.
You say that, but you're the one that really kind of sticks out. Really, a lot of people, I know, and I love the fact that you're so modest, but when I tell you that more people were excited about us talking to you than, say, again, like a Brad Pitt, I'm not even making that up.
That's wild. That's wild to me. Because I'm a big fan of Brad Pitt. He is one beautiful man.
So let's go back to your relationship with Joe. You both are still married.
Yeah.
And what do you see? Obviously, you're hoping for the appeal to go through, but what about your plans for the future?
You know, I'm just kind of going with the flow. I don't have anything specific in mind. I know my manager has a few things that he's working on at the moment, and you know, hopefully that we can follow through with them. You know, the coronavirus is kind of delaying a few things, but you know, my main goal is just, like, I love Joe, don't get me wrong, but I don't want to be known as Joe Exotic's husband because I am an individual. I want to be Dillon Passage. I want to make a name for myself.
And that's why we're talking with you today, to get your story out. So did you had an interest in animals before all this?
Yeah, my whole life. Yeah, I've just always loved animals, and it's always been a very big part of my life. Since a little kid, I'd bring home random cats and random dogs, and my mom would be like, "No, take it back." I was like, "No, we're not doing that. Like, it's already here. Why do I have to get rid of it now?" So, you know, then I met Joe, and he had all these animals, and you know, obviously that was a big attraction to me just because I love wildlife. But being around the animals kind of brought me out of a really dark place, and I can't say thank you to Joe any more than, you know, anything. It was just a big part of my life, and you know, I feel like it's going to be a big part of my life forever.
What was a typical day like at the zoo?
For me, it was mostly I would wake up at like 7:30. I would make baby bottles for camel, lemur, like my tigers, my kangaroos, and they would happen 8 a.m., noon, 4 p.m., 8 p.m., and then through the middle of the night whenever they would start crying. So that was basically my day. And in between my breaks, I would go to the gym, or I would go hang out with my cousin, and then just walk around the zoo just whenever I had free time.
What do your family and friends think about this series, your newfound fame? What are they saying to you?
I like to keep my friend circle small, so I have like a good 4 or 5 friends that I share everything with. You know, people are really hard to trust, especially especially now. But since day one, these people have been more than supportive and just loving of me no matter what, never judged. You know, all of my friends have met Joe. Some of my family's met Joe, and they like Joe. But after watching the series, they know that he was set up. And at first they were a bit weary, like, "Oh my God, I can't believe he did that." And I was like, well, you know, there's a different story to be told. Like, nobody really understands what has happened. But they've been super supportive, and they just want the best for both of us.
Perfect. You're doing cameo shout outs. I saw you on there. And I definitely want to include that in our interview. People can, the cameo, for those that may not know, you can go to this website. Celebrities do shout outs for you. Are you having fun with that?
I am. It's really good to be able to chat with people and like hear the things that they have to say, and they ask questions that, you know, weren't answered in the show, and I'm more than happy to share my life with them and you know, help them out and give them any kind of peace of mind for the questions that they may have.
Your family is, do you have family in Texas is what I read. Is that correct?
Yeah, all of my family's in Texas.
Have you been down to Houston where we're at now?
Yeah, I've been to Houston many times. I like Houston.
Well, Houston likes you as well, my friend. I'm going to give you the camera here just for a little bit, and you can actually tell the people in Houston and in Texas and everybody watching this, if you just have a quick message for everybody. I don't want you to speak your heart. Whatever you want to say, I'm going to give you the camera. Go for it, Dillon.
You know, for all of the fans, not necessarily just in Texas, but, you know, all around the world, the United States, Canada, freaking the UK, Ireland, Australia, people have been reaching out, and I just want to say thank you so much. You know, I'm just a normal guy. I'm just like you guys. You know, my life has been wild, and, you know, I'm 24 years old, and I've been through a lot of things that most people would probably never even go through. Definitely accomplished a few things that I wanted to do, and you know, I'm not going to let all of these negative things kind of hold me back, and I just want to thank everybody for your support and love, and it's much appreciated.
Well, I've been to your Instagram, and I saw the backflips that you were doing. That was impressive, dude.
Thank you. It's fun. It's just something I do, and, you know, it makes me happy, and it's just really fun to do. And I did it in college. I did college cheer and SFA. Go Jacks.
Oh, okay.
Much love to you guys. All my LCLM fam. But yeah, it's just a hobby, and I just really enjoy it.
Joe is aware of the fame and how big this show is.
Oh yeah, definitely. So as soon as the show dropped, he started getting hundreds and hundreds of emails and letters, and, you know, he just really felt the love and support. And obviously, he calls himself Joe Exotic. He's an attention whore, which is, you know, perfectly fine. Let him live that life. But he absolutely loves everything he's gotten.
That's so good to hear. We'll close with this. Do you have a favorite Joe Exotic song?
Yeah, This Old Town. It's actually one of the ones that he did write and sing himself. So it's very original, and it just, check it out. Check it out on I don't know what it's on. Maybe on Spotify. I'm not sure. Or it will be soon enough in Apple Music. But good song. Good. It's straight from Joe's heart. It's mainly about his brother GW, and why he did the things that he's done with the zoo and the animal world. And yeah, it's a hit for sure.
Well, listen, we really appreciate your time, and all the best.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, man. Just hang in there. You look good. Your spirits seem to be up, and just, you know, thanks for being you.
Yeah, thanks, man. It was really good talking to you guys.
Thank you, Dillon. Take care.
Bye-bye.